What's up, y'all? This is Market Man Mike, aka Mike Stocks, man, back at you guys with another video. Just pretty much wanted to come to this video and show you guys pretty much how my last week's outlook pretty much set up perfectly and how it played out throughout the whole entire week. And it was just pretty much a successful trading week, one pair, you know. It was an overall successful week for all of the markets, US, Forex. It was a very volatile week, volatile month. It's money to be made and it's skills to be gained, you know. So I'm just gonna give you guys a breakdown of what I seen, how I seen it, and so you guys can kind of get a concept of your own of what just what to go for, in terms of trading because my trading style is not hard. What I see is not the hardest thing in the world. You just gotta let it all line up. Everything lines up. Every time frame lines itself up. We're not gonna go too deep into that right now, but it all correlates. So I'm gonna give you guys a weekly, probably through 30-minute time frame breakdown. I'm gonna start from the weekly and go all the way down to there, and just hope you guys see what I see. So starting off from the weekly, last week, this was last week's candle on the weekly. As you can see, we retested, double topped on the weekly, and came all the way back down and closed under my 61.8. After I seen that it double topped and closed under my 61.8, I was thoroughly intrigued, just because it was a clear setup. This is setting up to be bearish. And if I'm wrong, I accept that. But I know for a fact it had to retest after closing under the 61.8. Not no hour retest, not no 4 hour retest. They had to do a real weekly retest. So coming and seeing that the week prior, how it closed under my 61.8, I knew it had to retest either my 78.6, my 88.6, or my 100%. Either or, I was looking for a retest around these three levels for a conviction to sell, you know. So yes, weekly it closed under my 61.8. As you can see, we retested my 88.6 off the weekly and we sold off, you know. Coming to the daily time frame, you can see we was chopping around this range for a minute, just trying to find ourselves, because overall it knew it wanted to sell, but it had to set up to sell, it had to retest, it had to give the retest to sell. So as you can see, it was pretty much playing around for like 4 days. It was still volatile, still good movement. But this last day, which was yesterday, the 15th, Friday, as you can see, it just dumped. Bank sold it. It dumped. But we retested that 88.6 and it came down. Everything correlated perfectly. So waking up early, I woke up probably about 4 a.m., you know. After seeing this big red sale on the 4 hour, I was just like, okay, praying that I didn't miss my move, but accepting if it was missed, that it will be another opportunity another day, even if it's not today. But as you can see on the 4 hour, it came down, engulfed everything. It engulfed and broke, you know engulfed everything and broke my 50%. So after seeing that on the 4 hour, I overall just looking for a retest just to take it down. And it played out perfectly. As you can see, it retested my 61.8 on the 4 hour, and it was all she wrote, you know. So I had got in off the 4 hour literally at this exact top, and I'm gonna implement the screenshots either mid video or towards the end of the video. But I had got in on this 4 hour. I really got in off the hour, but I knew the 4 hour, everything had timed up. It just lined up perfectly. We just had a big engulfing on this 4 hour. Let's retest what we broke and let's line it up. And as you can see, that's what it did. So I got in around this top, literally at the top, you know. I got in probably about 3 entries around this top area. As soon as we broke the 61.8 is when I got in my third entry, and it was pretty much all she wrote. So I really wasn't looking too much on my phone, because I wanted this to ride. This was more of a higher time frame sale, so me looking at it, it's not gonna do nothing for me because overall it's a sale. on a higher time frame. This was a daily, weekly sale. So I just had to let it do its thing. But I was just taking it to my 38.2, nothing greedy. Overall, I really could have took it down to the 0% just of the pressure and how it all lined up. And that's on me, but it'll still be another day, another opportunity, and I ain't missing nothing. As long as you're profitable, as long as you don't lose, that's the name of the game. Staying in the game is the name of the game. You know, not trying to predict the game, because you can never predict the game. The game is always going to go how the game wants to go. You just got to be there to catch it. It's either you're there to catch it or you watching the sideline. And sometimes being on the sideline ain't a bad thing. You know, you just got to know when to be hands on and hands off. And in terms of this opportunity, I was hands on. I wasn't going to miss this. I was waiting for it the whole week. I knew it had to happen. So I got in off this hour, pretty much let this hour candle close. Once I seen that it had closed bearish, I scaled in for my fourth entry. Overall, I got into four entries. I think in total I was in like a 1.2, maybe a 1.3. You know, all this it was all dispersed, all broken apart. But yeah, I got into my fourth and final entry right here as soon as we broke 7,000. We broke 7,000, um, and it was pretty much all she wrote. Once we broke this 7,000 on this 30-minute time frame, I put my stop literally probably like right here. Put my stop for my main entries and the entry that I had got in at 7,000. I put all my stops right there. One, because I knew that before I had to close bearish. So regardless of what it does, I know for a fact it should not come back up here, especially with the pressure that it needed. It was probably about one more hour left until the 4 hour close. So I didn't see it coming too much higher. I felt like it was just going to close bearish. And that's exactly what it did. So put my stop loss at in profit. So if I was to get stopped out, I still won. I had to make sure my mental was right more than anything. It was also news at 8:30. So everything had to just correlate. But the name of the game was to stay in the game. And as soon as I put my stop loss in profit, I just let it ride. I didn't even think too much of it. I took it from my 61.8 all the way down to my 38.2. And as you can see, the trade lined up perfectly, you know. And this is when I kind of did hop on my lower time frames just to see if everything was lining up in terms of where I put my stop at. As soon as I put my stop in, that's when I did it. As soon as we got this rejection at 7,000 again, man, my stop was good. My stop was green. And I didn't think too much of the trade at that point. I was sending the trade to my group chat like, hey, it's going down to my 38.2. I don't even care. And if it doesn't, so be it. I'm still in profit. And as you can see, this trade lined up perfectly on every time frame, not even just the higher ones. Even though I didn't even look at the lower ones as much, you see it lined up perfectly. You know, it lined up perfectly. And the reason why I got in at this 61.8, just coming back from the start of the video, what did I tell you guys? Last week, we broke under this 61.8. We broke under this shit. So this was more of a weekly time frame sale that I was in. Even though it was the last day of the week, it probably was 8 hours left in the day, maybe seven. You know, once we got a retest of this weekly low that we broke, once we got a retest of it, I knew for a fact it was green off the 4 hour because that was weekly pressure that we was retesting. It wasn't no lower time frame pressure that I thought about in terms of this moment. I knew for a fact, okay, we're retesting the weekly what we just broke. So overall, we should sell. And that's exactly what we did. We retested up here, all she wrote. So down. This was a 3,000 point, 4,000 point sale, in one day. And it's possible. It's all possible, you know. But I knew once we retested that weekly low that we broke under, I mean, it was pretty much green and just let it ride. But if you guys want to learn how to see what I see, because I'm not saying I'm just the best trader, but I trust my levels. I'm a real level to level trader, and in terms of my levels, I prefer it to be perfect. I'm not, it can't be perfect. Nothing's perfect, but I trust my levels, and that's how I've been flowing. That's how I've been successful in this market. I trust myself. You got to trust your levels. You got to trust yourself. And in terms of this trade, I did everything right. I trusted everything, you know. But yeah, this is just my outlook on this pair, what I seen at the beginning of the week and how it all lined up perfectly, as you can see. And I hope you guys just learned something from this video. Every time frame correlates the same. Yeah, I may got in this trade off the 4 hour, but I knew off the weekly it had to go down. So it all correlated, it all played out, and it was just an overall successful trading week. So if you guys want to learn how to trade, learn how to level, see what I see and mark up the charts how I do, you guys just stay consistent with me and I'll stay consistent with y'all. The name of the game is to stay in the game. And if we can all eat together, I'll love that. I would love it. For real. But I hope you guys just got a good concept of the video. I hope you guys was able to see and understand what I seen and what I understood in this moment. Just overall, I just hope you guys learned something. This is Market Man Mike, and I'll probably be back tonight with another video, if not Sunday, just to give you guys a weekly outlook of next week. I hope you guys have a blessed day, and let's get to it today. Peace.